Welcome into Tori's Take, presented by Priority Health. I'm Tori Petry. It's been a few days since the Lions have played, but we've still got lots to talk about. By now, you know that the Detroit Lions have parted ways with head coach Matt Patricia and general manager Bob Quinn. It became clear after the shutout loss to the Panthers and the beating from the Texans on Thanksgiving Day that this move was inevitable. Sure, owner Sheila Ford Hamp could have waited until the end of the season, but last year ownership came out and said they expected this team to contend in 2020. And after those last two games, it was clear they weren't doing that. She needed to do this to show that she meant what she said last year, and that after taking over the team from her mother this summer, she was serious about holding this team to a higher standard. Bob Quinn brought in Matt Patricia 3 years ago to turn a team that finished 9-7 into playoff game winners. Not just making the playoffs, but getting over the hump. In his eyes and in the eyes of Matt Patricia, they needed to overhaul the roster to bring in their guys who could get it done in the system they wanted to build. Now that's pretty par for the course with new coaching hires. They needed time to make those changes and build the roster the way they wanted. But after 43 games and just 13 wins, it was clear their system wasn't working here in Detroit, and ownership decided to move in a different direction. An overhaul like this midseason is never an easy thing to do, but it was clearly what Hamp felt like she had to do for the betterment of the organization long term. Time will tell what comes of it. All right, I know you guys have questions, so let's answer a few of them. Trey George asks, do you see Stafford unleashing more passes deep like we've been used to during his 12-year career, now that Bevel has full control for the next 5 games? I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what this team looks like with Bevel at the helm. Many have pointed out that this offense has struggled at different points this season, most notably in the Carolina shutout. But here's the thing, you really don't know who was calling the shots. Head coaches typically have a considerable amount of influence in game planning as well as calling plays. So what will this offense look like now that Bevel has creative control over it? We saw how good he was calling the offense last season when Stafford was playing at an all-pro level before his injury, and even how well adjusted the offense was when the backup quarterback stepped in. He gave them the best chance to survive. Now, Bevel still likes to be balanced on offense and have a balance of run and pass, don't get me wrong, but I am interested to see how he makes this team his own in the coming weeks. Kyle Cushway wants to know, are there any early standout candidates for the head coaching position that you know of from your time around other teams? Look, there are a few names you're going to be hearing over and over throughout the next few weeks. That's not just for the Lions, that's for all 3 of the head coaching vacancies already out there. The 2 most obvious are Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy and San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. We've all seen what Bieniemy has done in Kansas City, and he's been in the head coaching conversation for a while now. Saleh is actually a Dearborn native, and his defense put on a show against the Rams yesterday, forcing 4 turnovers and notching 6 quarterback hits. Now, I'm not saying that's who the Lions are considering. Sheila Ford Hamp would not specify exactly what she was looking for, but she did guarantee a comprehensive search. I'm just saying those are 2 names you're going to be hearing a lot throughout this coaching carousel conversation. All right, let's get to our extra point, where we usually take you around the league, but this is my take, so I get to pick the extra point. And this week I'm going to college football, where Vanderbilt women's soccer player Sarah Fuller filled in at kicker for the Vandy football team this weekend in light of some COVID issues on their roster. She became the first female to play in a Power 5 college football game. Do you know how awesome that is? There are so many little girls who saw that this weekend and were shown that they can do anything they set their minds to. As a former women's football player myself, I tip my cap to Sarah and thank Vanderbilt football for inspiring women everywhere. And here's your NFL tie-in. Vandy special teams coach Devin Fitzsimmons was formerly a special teams assistant here in Detroit. All right, that's it for this week's Tori's Take, presented by Priority Health. From Xfinity Studio, I'm Tori Petry.